Now I invite Poomani, a writer from Tamil language.
A very good afternoon to one and all. See, I'll be reading this on behalf of my father. There lived a tall old man in my village. I was a schoolboy then at the age of devouring historical series. I enjoyed talking to that Palmyra grandpa with my head uplifted. One day, I noticed a difference in his right hand. The thumb was straight and deviated as if unfriendly with the adjacent finger. It could not be the intimate with the other fingers also. I asked why. He had a story for it. He organized and led a group of rioters to participate in the Sivakasi riot. A huge crowd was converging around Sivakasi, reminding of Tiruchendur temple festival. 4,000 to 5,000 ringleaders and rioters had assembled there from many surrounding villages. The riot was ignited. The moment our grandpa was ready to attack, drawing his spear out of the sheath, a stone hurled from Nada's community side fell on his right hand and tore the thumb flesh. Unable to attack, he stood stunned. It was a pitched fight indeed, handling many kinds of lethal weapons. Entry into Sivakasi was not an easy job. Many rioters retreated, unable to withstand the fitting retaliation of Nadas. Nadar community, which emerged as an influenced and affluent class by acquiring money and wealth through agricultural and trade, and thereby economically raising their status above other communities, adopted various methods of struggle for the cause of social rights. One such was the mass religious conversion. Many embraced Christianity as an effort to set themselves free from the clutches of caste discrimination, raise their social status, and establish their rights. The Sivakasi riot that busted out in 1999, subsequent to the Kalugumalai riot, was different in content and character. The Nadas of Sivakasi did not resort to a religious conversion as a content to caste discrimination. Instead, they fought for socio-religious equality and civil liberties, remaining with the Hindu society itself. But the caste Hindus wanted to retain the citadel of casteism. No doubt, it would be a great contribution to Tamil literature if I could write a novel based on the lessons derived from the history of the estranged Nadar community, which persistently struggled for over a period of 1.5 centuries to gradually raise its status from servitude to ruling of the caste of hundreds of human lives, and tracing out the roots of caste system in a balanced manner. Of course, it would be an uphill task requiring deep and broad research. In fact, the preparatory research towards a historical novel was an entirely new literary experience in my career. A deep giving into an ocean of rare source materials to churn out actual events and happenings. I am not also basically an intellectual social historian, rather I am a creative writer looking at life through feelings. I should commence my research with these two different approaches, nothing but the story of transmigration of Vikramaditya. I am not also conversant with various methods of research, yet I should enter the field with a helping thread. Otherwise, I should flounder on a wild goose chase. Hence, I took arbitrarily onto some suitable method of approach. I commenced my research dividing items of work into two parts. First is the collection of sources, which consists of primary sources and secondary sources. And the second one consists of field study, wherein visiting the places of occurrence and interaction with different sections of people. At the first stage, I decided to collect the secondary sources and go through the entire collection. I visited many libraries and collected sources. I bought relevant books in the open market. I started reading the total collection. I was aware of a very ticklish issue that encountered me in these religious conflicts, and contradictions are sensitive issues. They should be handled with utmost care without hurting the feelings of others. A partisan attitude may prove suicidal. I am basically an atheist, but I do respect spiritual inquiries in challenging areas. Problems would crop up only if my atheism is followed in the forefront. I realized that it would be the right course for me to temporarily get relieved of the atheist bent of mine and to immerse myself into the religious activities. Despite the intense and in-depth study materials, the scenes of the events were looming as shadows of temples and ponds and villages and streets with superficial air. Hence, I decided to invariably visit the places of occurrence and to draw a topographical sketch of such places in my mind. I collected the district maps and chalked out the tour program. Then I visited the right hit places area by area. I met different sections of people and gathered the needed information. It was true that I was neck deep amidst recorded materials, views and opinions. I had a lurking fear that without being able to bail out myself, I may soon shed off creativity and turn out to be a social historian. So I should allay this fear. The only way out of this situation was to start writing the novel simultaneously and sustain my creativity. If the novel is written entirely in the backdrop of the struggles of Nadar community and the riots against them, it would be unidimensional. Instead, it would be of a vast canvas. The social background and causes for the struggle and riot should be analyzed with a non-partisan attitude. They should be portrayed fusing with the social structure and existed at that time, cultural values, lifestyles, traditions, relationships, and pros and cons of administration. The social activities of Nadar community should not be segregated and depicted. During the course of writing, a question started to trouble me. It was all right to write a historical novel, but which history should I take as the basis? The one that is written on the grammar, that is not written. Unwritten history was not that useful. People found it difficult to narrate clearly incidents that took place some 3 generations ago. So the novel had to be written in these difficult circumstances, walking on a razor's edge. One had to struggle hard among the murders, looting, arsons, and other ruins. Now my mind was somewhat relaxed after all those such struggles. Another difficulty has to be mentioned. Almost all the records were in English. So I had to read and assimilate them, internalize them in Tamil, and then write the novel. Still, the English documents came in my way. To forget those documents that I had searched for so diligently needed mental practice. While writing about real events, a warning bell always sounded inside me, asking, is this correct, is this correct? To some extent, the freedom of imagination was lost. If I was able to cope up with all these and write the novel, it would be an achievement. I was hopeful. Altogether, it took me 28 months for this preparatory research and 7 years to complete this novel. So the big baby was delivered with killing travails. So I named it Angyadi. Its meaning is O Mother. Thanks to Sahitya Academy for recognizing this magnum opus.